Do you always worry about eating rice or potatoes? Both are whole foods with macro and micronutrients, but they have been made the bad guys in most diet plans. So, should you eliminate them completely from your diet if you're diabetic or trying to lose weight? The answer is no. But there are several aspects to this. For weight loss, if you are quantifying your nutrition and are in a calorie deficit, you can include rice or potatoes in your diet as per how much fits your plan. However, if you're diabetic but enjoy your potatoes and rice, then here's a quick tip on how you can still include some of these into your diet. To understand this, you first need to understand what is known as glycemic index or GI. For more useful tips on health enhancing behaviors, hit the bell button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The glycemic index is a measure that ranks carbohydrate containing foods based on how quickly they raise blood sugar levels when consumed. It is a scale from 0 to 100 with higher values indicating a faster and more significant increase in blood sugar. Here's how it works. High GI foods are those that have a GI of 70 or higher. These foods are rapidly digested and absorbed, causing a quick spike in blood sugar levels. Examples include white bread, white rice, sugary cereals, and most sweets. Intermediate GI foods have a GI of 56 to 69. These have a moderate impact on blood sugar levels. For example, these include whole wheat bread, brown rice, and some fruits like pineapple and watermelon. Next are the low GI foods, which have a GI of 55 or lower. These are digested and absorbed more slowly, leading to a gradual and steady increase in blood sugar levels. Examples include most vegetables, legumes, whole grains like oats and barley, and many fruits like apples, berries, and citrus fruits. The glycemic index can be a useful tool for people, particularly those with diabetes or those looking to manage their blood sugar levels. Foods with a lower GI tend to provide more sustained energy and are often recommended because they don't cause rapid spikes and crashes in blood sugar. However, it's important to understand that the GI of food can be influenced by various factors, including cooking methods, food processing, etc. Now, here's a practical tip for you. Cooking rice and potatoes and then refrigerating them can potentially reduce their glycemic index compared to eating them freshly cooked. This effect is primarily due to a process called retrogradation, which occurs when starches in these foods undergo changes in their structure upon cooling. Now, here's how it works. Now, when you cook rice or potatoes, you gelatinize the starches. This means that the starches absorb water, swell, and become easier to digest. As a result, the GI of freshly cooked rice or potatoes is relatively high because the starches are quickly broken down into glucose in your digestive system. Now, when you cool cooked rice or potatoes and store them in the refrigerator, the starches undergo retrogradation. During this process, the starch molecules recrystallize and form a more ordered, resistant structure. This resistant starch is not as easily digested in the small intestine, which means it has a lower glycemic response when consumed. And finally, question about what happens when you reheat the food which is cooled, like the rice or potatoes. Some of the resistant starches, when reheated, may change back to a more digestible form, but not all of them. This means that the overall GI is still lower compared to freshly cooked rice or potatoes. Now, it's important to note that the degree to which the GI is reduced through this process can vary depending on factors such as the type of rice, type of potatoes, cooking method, cooling time, reheating method, etc. Now, generally, the longer the cooling time, the greater the retrogradation effect. Now, keep in mind that while this process can help reduce the GI of these foods, it doesn't eliminate carbohydrates or their impact on blood sugar entirely. People with diabetes or those monitoring their blood sugar levels should still consume these foods in moderation and as part of a balanced diet. So, use this tip, but use it wisely.